Yes, yes. Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, dear brothers and sisters, and dear people of the book, and not so dear atheists and all the other deluded people. I hope you're having a fantastic night, a fantastic evening. Please to check our sounds, to check our volumes. Please make sure to inform us whether there is a discrepancy between our volumes, between the volumes of Brother Dawood and Brother and me. Brother Dawood, can you say a few words? I'm sorry I'm disturbing you while you're very concentrated on the Quran. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. That was a very good reaction. Brother Dawood, please let us know, everybody, if everything sounds okay and looks okay according to what you have just heard. And yeah, I see some people saying everything sounds good, looks good. Some people are laughing. I have no idea why. We're doing something very serious here. We haven't been live for quite a while, both of us, Brother Dawood and I. This is because we are currently not where we usually are, although my background looks familiar. We are currently on the Hajj. Brother Dawood Wood and I have been very devoutly doing our pilgrimage, our obligatory Hajj together. We are currently in Mecca, and we will soon be visiting the place of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah, I can't speak anymore. I'm very overwhelmed with emotions. Brother Dawood, why don't you go ahead and take it over from here?
You can say what you want about us Muslims, but when it comes to making giant Qurans, there's no one better.
Alhamdulillah. Subhanallah. Thank you for that input. Is there more? Do you want to say more, or is it all?
If you have nothing to say nothing. Words of wisdom.
Fantastic. So what is that? Jihadi tears? A'udhu billah. What
because I weep for the jihadis, and I collect their tears, and then I drink them.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. So many of you people might be surprised also by Brother Dawood's eyes during this live stream. So we have recently reverted to Islam, alhamdulillah. I have reverted to Islam after I read the Quran again, and I read this verse in which it says that Allah restrains the sky from falling down. Allah holds the sky and prevents it from falling down on us. And then I looked up to the sky, and I realized the sky is indeed up there. And it's being like, it doesn't fall down on us. So what is that? What is all of that about? And Alhamdulillah.
I reverted after reading the verses about having a bunch of wives and an unlimited number of sex slaves, and finding out I can smack and beat them if they don't listen to me.
Yeah, subhanAllah. That's also a beautiful point, Brother Dawood. That's also a very fantastic, beautiful point.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah. So that's all. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's all, I guess. Yeah. So what's going on, David?
What's going on?
Yeah. What the hell is this? What's what are we doing? Why did we decide to do this?
You said, hey, we should go live. and I said okay. That was the extent of our plan. And then right before we went live, you said, hey, let's toss these on. And that's the extent of our planning.
Yeah. And then during the day, I was sitting there and I was watching some videos. I was watching a video by a Muslim who was apparently presenting absolute proof that Islam is true. And there was this background music playing, this stupid humming. And I thought, man, that actually sounds kind of nice. I could maybe sit down for an hour and remix that and make something nice out of it. So I made that. And then that motivated me even more to put these things on it, to talk about Islam. And yeah, that's amazing.
Years ago, I forget what year this would have been. You're talking way back in the day, like 2008, 2009. I was supposed to go speak. I don't remember where, someplace in Pennsylvania. So it was like a 5-hour drive. It was like a 5-hour drive from the Bronx down to this place in Pennsylvania. And Muslims had always said, hey, it's the amazing Quran and so on, and it's the miracle of the eloquence of the Quran and stuff. So I got the Quran on CD, like being professionally recited and stuff like this. And I'm like, I'm just going to listen to this the entire way and get it in my head and see if this stuff is good. Man, about an hour into it, I got like the most terrible headache ever. I had to turn the crap off, man.
Yeah,
terrible.
That's awful. That's awful. Yeah, I grew up as listening to that stuff, praying to that stuff, respecting that stuff, having to respect that stuff. So I was obviously always told that it's so beautiful and this and that. I'd never really felt that it was amazingly beautiful. I was just supposed to be indoctrinated and believe, state as a fact that it is beautiful, even if I don't personally feel that way about it.
Well, and anyone can do that. Just to be clear, we're not singling out Islam here. Anyone can do this, but Islam does seem to take things to another level in that it's like you're taught, hey, even if you don't get this argument or understand this point or get this feeling or something, blah blah blah, other people who are way better than you do. And so sort of rest your confidence in them. If you don't know how to answer this, well, put your confidence in Zakir Naik. He could answer it. And so there's this constant placing the confidence of my religion in what I believe about other people. And so, yeah, even if it gives me a headache, other people say it's the most beautiful thing ever written, and it's this miracle that no one could possibly imitate. And so, just got to keep the faith, man. Keep the faith.
That's very good, actually. It's a very good point. I mean, it is a very well-known fact among Muslims, in the Muslim world, in the Muslim society, in Muslim culture. It's a very well-known fact that reading the Quran is hard. This is a known fact. Everyone knows this. Every Muslim knows this. Even Muslims who are highly religious and who highly appreciate the Quran know that it is a struggle to read the Quran, and that therefore the vast majority of Muslims have never read the Quran. And so you have you have this collective of people who say that this book is the most beautiful book, the most wise book, the most intelligent book. It sounds amazing. It is so beautiful. Oh, it makes me, it moves something inside of me. But then you can't have a Muslim sit down and read that book for 5 minutes without going crazy, without wanting to do something else, because it's just such a dumb book. It's just the only thing that you can do about it to make it beautiful, to make it bearable, is to sing that book, to sing it. And you can do that with anything. You can do that with a phone book. You can do that with, I don't know, the instructions manual of your freezer. You can do whatever you want. You can sing everything and make it sound beautiful. But the text itself, it's just there is nothing special about it. And Islam really relies on this whole idea that this person or that person says it is beautiful. This person says this is true. I don't have to further think about that. I don't have to further involve myself in that. I'll just let, as you said, Zakir Naik talk, and Zakir Naik explain why it is so beautiful, why it is so amazing. By the way, there was a beautiful comment here which said we should sell these hats with our logos on it.
That would be cool. I don't know if we could get them because we both have cool. You could have the little apostate prophet head on there, and I could have my cool Acts 17 logo on there, and then everyone could be rocking those.
Yeah,
especially if they're hanging out with their Muslim friends. Then
that's a beautiful idea. A very, very, very amazing thought. Yeah. I also have the idea to sell underwear soon, by the way, that will represent not only apostate prophet, not only my own work, but also it will definitely include Islamic values, because I think underwear is something that Islam didn't really go into, and I don't know why. It's a shame. So I want to kind of tackle that. Yeah.
All right. Should we take some questions?
Quran underwear. What have you been doing, David? What's going on?
Oh,
why are you not making any videos? Why are you not going live? What's
happening? Like 90 reasons.
Yeah.
No, Like I went live with I was live with El Fadi, and I told people that it kind of started off when I was basically making a background for another channel, and then realized how massively disorganized I was and stuff. So I talked a bit about that. The main reason, as far as right now, is I'm currently a nurse for my kids. So we have three nurses. So we have one who comes in part of the time on weekdays, and one who comes in weeknights, and then we have a nurse that would come in like nights on weekends. And so not all nurses get along. We had two that really didn't get along, even though they would only have to see each other like 5 minutes at certain times, like when they're trading out and stuff like that. And so anyway, one of the nurses snitched on the other nurse for not following some policy, which we didn't care about. It didn't affect us. But it is the nursing agency has all these policies and stuff like that. So, and she'd done this before. She kept trying to get her in trouble. And anyway, so she got her in trouble, but that was our favorite nurse who got in trouble. And then I don't like snitches because it's like a convict thing. But so look, she's snitching, and so she can't be coming back here. Which, if it was something important, like really important stuff, and you inform the agency, but that would be one thing. But it's not. She's just constantly trying to get other people in trouble. And I'm like, man, she can't come back here because she's creating drama for us when we have enough drama in our lives. We don't need you causing problems with other nurses and stuff like that. So anyway, we lost one nurse, then we lost another, then we lost the other nurse, and then our third nurse, the night nurse, she's going through schooling, and then she's got this is her last semester of schooling when she has a ton of exams and stuff like that. They're called I think precepts or something like that. I don't know. I keep hearing precepts, but so she had to cut back on a bunch of her nights. So we went from having lots of nurses to having a nurse here and there occasionally. So whenever that's happened before, normally it'll happen. A nurse will move to another area or something like that. So you lose a nurse, and so you fill in. But to kind of have all the nursing go away was, that's basically what happened. So when that happens, I switch to nights, right? So I stay up at night, and I take care of the kids at night, and then I sleep during the day, and my wife takes care of them during the day and then sleeps at night. So we're basically doing that until everything gets back to normal. And staying up at night, it's great for reading, which I found out I had to reprogram myself to do, because I started trying to read for hours at a time again. I found out I couldn't do it. It's because the internet screws you up, man. Mm-hmm. It screws you up. And so I started researching how the internet screws up your ability to read and stuff. So you kind of have to force yourself for a while till you get back into reading. So anyway, the upside is I get lots of reading done when I'm staying up at night with the kids, but it's not great for video making because the window of my video making opportunity is narrowed. But I'm pretty night adapted now, so I'm going to get back to videos unless something really weird happens, which it occasionally does. Get back to videos this week. I'm just going to have to how I used to do things. I'd wake up in the morning, start planning out my video, putting everything together, record in the early afternoon, edit in the evening, and that's why my videos would get up a lot of time. My videos be posted might be 8 o'clock if I'm really moving, might be 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock or something like that. So now I'll have to record right before everyone else goes to sleep. I'll have to record my video, and then at night I'll have to be editing the video, and I'll probably be posting them first thing in the morning, right before I go to bed. That should be temporary, but because you eventually find there's a nursing shortage. I don't know if that has anything to do with COVID, but it's hard to find nurses now. When we lived in the Bronx, there was an endless supply of nurses because so many people come in from different countries. They immigrate, they go through nursing school and stuff like that. So you have tons of nurses, and then but yeah. Nursing shortage. So that's why I've been behind on video, in addition to a bunch of other reasons, but that's the main reason right now why I haven't been posting recently.
I see. That sounds rough. I mean, it's like very, very busy. I can only imagine. I mean, I haven't been as desperate in the last months, over the last months, the last 3-4 months. So much stuff has happened for me. We have moved, people got sick, we have a new baby, taking care of him, and between all that, especially while moving, which kind of really makes me extremely busy, I thought I would still sit down and publish videos and all that, but it just doesn't work. I don't know. Like, I think I will have I will have a little bit time in the evening. I should then sit down and do something, but then I have a little bit of time, and then I just want to rest a little bit and get back to, and then sleep, rest, and then get back to moving again, and get back to taking care of our baby again, which takes up so much of my time. Right now he is sick, and I'm basically every day together with my wife, we're dealing with taking care of our sick newborn child, and having him puke on us, and changing his diapers. That just takes so much time. I don't really find the time to do anything anymore. So
I'm a firm believer that if you just had a baby, you take all the time you need, man.
Yeah.
In my younger, because I see this like in John, right? And like in my younger days, it was nonstop. I got to get something done. Constantly freaking out. I have to, like, if I slowed down for anything, I'd like start getting antsy, like I'm not getting anything done. The world is going to end. I'm not getting anything done and stuff. And now that I'm getting older and stuff like that, I still find like the mentality, it'll be like the middle of the night. I'll be like, I got to get something done. I'm like, wait a minute, man, I've been working 8 hours straight. Why don't I just chill and, do something else and stuff. And so, yeah, with age comes wisdom. And yeah, so you had a baby, man. I know you have this tendency, which having that, that constant, I got to get something done, it does help. It helps for things like YouTube, because you're constantly cranking out content and stuff like that. But, there are times when you just got to say, look, I know that my personality type says I got to get something done, but heck with that.
Something happened though with this. I mean, this is our second child together, but something really happened with this one. Maybe it's because with our first child, I wasn't really there when the child was born. Mm-hmm. I was in a different country. With this one, I was directly there and witnessed all that. But it really, I think it really changed something in me. I don't know. Because before that happened, I had this constant anxiety, as you're mentioning, as you were kind of describing it. I had this constant thing, like when it's night, I'm like, oh, I need to do something. I need to get up. I need to finish a video. I need to make this and work on that and work on this. But then after he was born, I suddenly went through this extreme change. I don't know what happened to me, but suddenly it's like my world was suddenly fixated on him, and all the anxieties that I have about getting this done and getting that done and writing this and publishing that suddenly completely diminished and went into the background. And I'm so focused on taking care of him right now that I don't know, I don't have the same anxiety to work and to do something as I used to. It's like I don't know how long this will go like this. I kind of really want to get back to publishing videos twice a week or so, but it's an interesting change that happened there. Very interesting. But yeah, I have been working on something that people are asking again. People are always asking about that. The video that I'm currently working on is a currently 2-hour video, which I will again adjust when I'm through editing that. It is The End of Mohammed Hijab, a video that I promised about 6 months ago, and then so much stuff happened, and then I just had to take care of other things.
Why are you picking on Mohammed Hijab, man?
I have to.
He's got enough people coming after him, and now you're gonna like end him. What the heck?
It's gonna be amazing. I promise you. I promise you, it's gonna be amazing. I'm working on it. I'm more than halfway through editing it. I'm adding so much stuff to it. It's just 20 points of information that he gets wrong by lying, not knowing, and misunderstanding, and stuff that he's so confident about. It is really horrible for him. It's really destructive. It is quite brutal. I'm very excited about it. I just want to make it even better. I want to really make it look nice. I want to add a lot of comedic stuff to it, add a lot of creative stuff to it, have it done, and then hopefully within the next few weeks I should be done with it. I don't want to promise any deadline anymore, but I should be done with it, and then I'll publish that. And
Yeah,
then I will
you've been see now the problem is you've been building that one up for so long.
yeah.
That thing better be good because everyone's been waiting for a long time.
It will be great. It will be worth it. It will be worth the wait. By the way, people are also asking about our debate. You and I were supposed to have a debate last year. That didn't happen because you were not available. Then I was not available. Now we're waiting for me to be done with my stuff.
And that's we discussed that a little while back. It's basically after the Muhammad hijab video, then that's going to be the next big thing we work on, right? Yeah. Okay. So once the hijab video is out, ladies and gentlemen, then we're going to we've already put together kind of a little schedule of events, but basically after he posts the hijab video, then I'll have to put out my opening statement.
Yep. Behind the scenes, we discussed that a few weeks ago, how we will go forward with that we will wait for me to finish with that video, and then we will start our debate together. Once I'm done with the stuff, I'll talk with David again, and we'll think about we'll devise how that will exactly go. We will outline the schedule of those videos and how we will proceed forward, and then we will start doing that. And at the same time, I will get back to finally publishing my regular videos again. I have so many videos waiting, so much stuff waiting that I just didn't want to publish because I didn't want to delay this Muhammad hijab thing even further.
Yeah, I'm like I don't like giving any like schedule anymore because every single time I say I'll have it this day, everything that could possibly go wrong goes wrong, and everything that I think will go quickly ends up taking 10 times as long as I think it'll take and stuff like that. But I should get again, unless something weird happens, I'll get back to posting this week. It'll probably be slower than it used to be because again, my window of recording and working on videos is smaller, and I have a lot more to do at night. But yeah, I'll get in a rhythm. I'll even if I end up staying up long term, even if I shift to a night schedule for a long time, I'll eventually get in a rhythm where like every night every evening at 8 o'clock, I'm recording and then editing at night and so on. But yeah, that'll happen. Super user says, were you sick, David? No, why?
We are always sick. David is always sick. David is sick by default. We're all sick. We're sick people. We're a sick kind of existence. I don't know. Have you been following the whole drama that's been going on with the whole Dawa community and everything that's been going on with the,
I saw that's why I said, hey, why are you messing with hijab? The only thing I've seen, and it's because people send it to me trying to get me to make a video out of it. And sometimes I do. So sometimes people send me stuff and I'm like, oh yeah, I got to crank out a video, but I've been too busy to jump into the drama. But it looks like hijab was attacking some Muslim scholar, and then a bunch of Muslims jumped on hijab, and that he backed off of, I don't know if it's social media in general or just off Twitter or something like that. But that's basically all I've seen from people sending me messages.
He made a beautiful tweet. I should show that tweet. I don't know if I want to show that actually, but he made a tweet as he was discussing about this Muslim scholar Albani or Albani, however you pronounce that, Sheikh Albani, who is a very popular recent Islamic scholar among these traditionalists, Salafis, and all those people, and he was apparently criticizing that guy and criticizing his explanation of how you can basically breastfeed in order to become someone's mahram, someone's what's the equivalent of that word? Is there a translation to that? I mean, that you can basically suckle on other people's on other women's breasts.
Oh wait, I think I did see that. He asked someone if I could suckle someone or something like that.
Wait. Yeah. So he made this tweet then.
Classic hijab.
I I'm sorry, everybody, for showing that, but this is really relevant right now. This is
Now,
part of our research.
now hold on. Is he making fun of? Is he making fun of Muhammad's doctrine that you should breastfeed grown adult men? Is he making fun of that, or someone's take on it?
The thing is, this guy Albani, this Islamic scholar, based on the Hadith, based on Muhammad's words, says that this is doable. Says that you can suck someone else's wife's breasts and thereby become their mahram. And Muhammad Hijab then criticizes this and says, with all due respect to Sheikh Albani, this is a ridiculous fatwa, and clearly shows that
I agree, it's ridiculous. Problem is, it comes from Allah and Muhammad, so
that's the thing, and that's where they started.
Hijab's just like a couple connections short of leaving Islam, right? He just has to put this together. Wait a minute, I understand how completely idiotic and ridiculous this is, and yet that comes from Allah and the Prophet.
Yeah. So he made this tweet here.
Oh wow, he said it all graphically.
And he capitalizes it to make he capitalizes it to make to shock the person even more. And
it would have been funny if the guy's like, of course, Allah says so. Allah says it.
Yeah, after he made this tweet, people were like, some Muslims came in and were like, what the hell? Like, what is this? Where are your manners, brother Hijab or brother Muhammad, whatever? And then he started fighting with them.
No wonder people wanted me to make a video about that. I thought it was just like the Dawood drama, but that's like perfect. That's like perfect situation to draw these things out to the surface. Look, these guys are, in this big dispute of people who are trying to defend it because they know it comes from Muhammad, and people were attacking it because they know it's ridiculous. Put those things together. Yes, it is ridiculous, and yes, it comes from the Islamic sources, and therefore Islam's ridiculous. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, we even have a hadith in which it says that a verse about breastfeeding was in the Quran, right?
Yeah. There were actually two. So at first it got revealed as 10. As 10, if you want to. So for people who have no clue what we're talking about right now, a situation arose in Islam where a man had to come to Muhammad and say, hey, I have to travel. I have to go out of town. I'm not home all the time. And my wife's got to be around this young, hot dude who works in our house now. And I'm worried about them doing something. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed in the Quran that she should breastfeed this man 10 times. And after she's breastfed him 10 times, he's going to be like her kind of, adopted son type deal, right? Yeah. So then you don't have to worry about anything when you're gone, because your wife kept putting her breasts in this dude's mouth. So now they're not going to have any problems while you're away. You're away and you come in, and hey, if you catch them in the room together, she's probably just breastfeeding him some more to avoid the sexual temptation. And so that was part of the Quran that got abrogated to 5. So there were 2 verses in the Quran, one that said 10 and one that said 5. And then we know from the famous hadith, Sunan Ibn Majah, 1944, the perfect preservation of the Quran. Aisha said that as they were, after Muhammad died, they're preparing for his funeral and stuff like that. And then, oopsie, a sheep came in and ate all the verses that Aisha really, really hated. Interesting stuff. Convenient.
Yeah. Very, very unfortunate.
And so they're not in the Quran today. So Muslims who don't study this issue, you could read the Quran all day long. You're not going to know about breastfeeding adults. Occasionally a scholar will say something about it and say, actually, this is the teaching of Islam. And then, people start going, whoa, what is this? Is this weird? And then you have other Muslim apologists who say, no, that's not a teaching of Islam. No, that was only for one specific incident and doesn't apply, which is not what you find in the Muslim sources. But so they'll get into an uproar. So that is a good time to.
Yeah.
bring
So
this stuff
here
up.
is one of these beautifully enlightening hadiths, which says, Aisha, Allah be pleased with her, reported that Salim, the freed slave of Abu Hudayfa, lived with him and his family in their house. She, the daughter of Suhail, came to Allah's apostle and said, Salim has attained puberty as men attain, and he understands what they understand, and he enters our house freely. I, however, perceive that something rankles in the heart of Abu Hudayfa, whereupon Allah's apostle, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, said to her, suckle him and you would become unlawful for him. And and the rankling which Abu Hudayfa feels in his heart will disappear.
Yeah,
She
sure will.
returned-
This is a man who understands the nature of men. All you have to do, ladies, all you have to do if you're trying to avoid men being sexually attracted to you, just put your breasts in their mouths repeatedly, and then they won't be attracted to your wives anymore.
See, it worked here. She returned and said, so I suckled him, and what was there in the heart of Abu Hudayfa disappeared. Subhanallah. See?
Yeah, there's another one where the woman says, but he has a beard. Muhammad said,
Oh yeah. Wait.
she said breastfeed him, and Muhammad said breastfeed him, and she said, but he has a beard, and it said, and Muhammad said, I know he has a beard, and smiled.
Yeah.
It's like creepiest smile ever. I know that dude. You breastfeeding that little 25-year-old baby boy there. Wow.
Yeah, I see one hadith in which she says, how can I suckle him? He's a grown-up man. And then Allah's messenger smiles and says, I know that he's a young man. And that's how it ends.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, I guess Muhammad was using logic and reason here. He was really using rationality and logic and reason here by thinking, hey, wait.
He invented logic and reasoning.
Yeah, he invented logic and reason. He invented science too. He used the he was coming very close to using the scientific method almost, and here he was going from experience and was thinking, hey, if I am breastfed by a substitute mother, and then this mother becomes my mahram, then shouldn't it also be logically concluded and true that even if you grow up and then you suck the breast of a woman, then you are also her mahram, and thereby the problem is solved? This is logic and reason. It makes sense. And then he revealed this beautifully logical conclusion and solved the problems of the world. And this is the genius of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
And it's funny because it's a situation where any rational thinking human being on the planet, including Muhammad Hijab, who's very frequently extremely irrational and emotional, even he can look at this and say, there's something extremely stupid about this idea, something that even calls for mockery. You should mock this claim. And that's what he's in trouble for. He's making fun of it. Hey, can I suck your wife's tit? Right? He's mocking this claim. And I mean, again, all hijab has to do is just realize that's what we see in all of this. When Muhammad takes the wife of his own adopted son and then justify it by saying that, I had to do it. This is what Allah tells him. Allah says, you have to do this, Muhammad, so that other men understand that it's okay to marry the wives of their adopted sons. And in the same chapter, Allah abolishes adoption so that it's a situation that would never arise again in Islam. You look at that and say, this is really, really stupid. This is insanely stupid. And so on, with the claims about the perfect preservation of the Quran. When you read the Muslim sources, and entire chapters were lost because Muslims were too lazy to recite them. Large passages were lost when the only people who had them memorized died in battle. Verses eaten by a sheep. You look at that and say, it's completely idiotic and ridiculous to claim that this book has been perfectly preserved. The miraculous scientific miracle of the Quran. I mean, the sun sets in a muddy pool. Semen is formed between the backbone and the ribs. It's like hijab is catching on to a little glimpse, and you got in trouble. You got in trouble for that. You can't be calling out stupid stuff that you find in the Muslim sources.
What you're not understanding is that when the Prophet Muhammad did marry the wife of his adopted son Zainab, and then adoption was later forbidden, and when he did this as an example to show that it is allowed, and then later adoption was forbidden, this was just a temporary measure by Allah to show the power of the Prophet Muhammad, to show that the Prophet Muhammad is so powerful, so great, such a great example that he can indeed revolutionize humanity and can introduce human rights. This is an example of an introduction of human rights, the rights of humans, like the right of a human to marry the wife of one's adopted son. For example, in this regard, I think Muhammad is revolutionary in such a way that he puts the Enlightenment thinkers and all those stupid people to shame. So you're clearly failing to see the glory of the Quran here. It's just, I just can't take this non-Muslim disbelieving stupidity that is going on in this world when we criticize Islam.
Also, super user who asked if I was sick earlier said it's because I've lost weight. And then I see some other comments saying, I hope you're okay. Seems like you've lost weight. Yeah, guys, that's deliberate.
You look a little bit.
That's deliberately getting in shape. I lost about 40 pounds so far. I'm going to drop probably 15 to 20 more. There is a shift when I start looking like I know from times when, like, way back when I would fast, when I would lose too much weight, and then I start looking like, someone could beat me up or something like that. So I'm gonna, there's a reason for that. My dad died at 50 years old. He was 50 when he died. He died of a heart attack brought on by hypercholesterolemia, right? His cholesterol was through the roof for years. So most of my life, I've never gone to the doctor except in cases. I've never gone to the doctor except it was an emergency, like, the bleeding wouldn't stop, or I needed a bone fix or something like that, or a situation where they made me, like, taking a physical for football or something like that. So I've always avoided it. And then just these past, like, 3 years, I started going for, like, a checkup and stuff like that. And they told me cholesterol through the roof and I'm going to die from it. And I'm thinking, so anyway, this past year, I was like, gosh, I'm 44. I'm 6 years away from when my dad died. And they're telling me I'm going to die from the same thing that my dad died of. So anyway, and so I just looked up how to lower cholesterol, and the most important step was lose weight if you're overweight, which I was. So I'm going to get shredded. I'm putting together my own program. I'm calling it Apollo Shredix. Act 17 Apollo Shredix.
That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, so not sick at all. In fact, I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. My joints still hurt just from getting old and stuff like that, that I've damaged over time in various situations. But other than that, I feel pretty good.
What the hell am I doing, man? Sorry, I'm trying to see the early super chats that were made, and then now I accidentally clicked on insert ad. Is an ad going to play now or something? I don't know. I can't find the super chats that people made earlier.
Andrew Underdown said more shredded than the Quran.
Yeah. I had a plan to make a lot of Quran project videos, because I thought, hey, people didn't really take the stuff back that they did, which is why I initially ripped up the Quran. Maybe I should just do more stuff with the Quran to show how beautiful it is, how much fun you can have with the Quran. But I don't know, I didn't really do that yet. I didn't yet invest enough energy in that. I want to read a few comments here. I wanted to look at the super chats. I just can't seem to see them. I don't know. Anyway, so Tippy Bear made super stickers, 3 of them. Unfortunately, I can't see what the super stickers were because I can't look at the earlier super chats. But thank you, Tippy Bear, and thanks for being here again. Abraham SECOE made a super chat of $50 and said, I've been missing David Wood. I thought Muslims must have shown you some peace, but it is even worse, because I see from your head that you are a Muslim. According to Muslims' reasoning, since Jesus bowed down when praying, he surely was a Muslim. So you must also be a Muslim. What are you going to say about that, David?
Yeah, no, it is. That's a joke about the
Yeah.
the level of reasoning in Islamic apologetic. Extremely popular. It's an extremely popular argument to show in Matthew, and Jesus fell on his face and prayed. They say, you see, that's how Muslims pray. Therefore, Jesus was a Muslim, right? So many problems with that, because you have other passage where, and Jesus looked up to heaven and prayed. That's not how Muslims pray. But what's funny is, and like hysterically funny is, if you continue reading the same verse, right? Jesus bowed down and prayed. And what? And he said, Father. Is Allah Father? Is Allah the Father of Jesus, Muslims? In your Quran, where is Allah, our Heavenly Father?
Yeah.
So it's just amazing that, hey, well, they had this amazing knack for, let me take out something, completely distort it and ruin it, as if the only way anyone could ever bow down is if he's a Muslim, right? So that would make the pagans Muslim. Pagans bow down too. It's a sign, and people bow down to each other and stuff like that in various cultures. It doesn't make you a Muslim, guys, but they'll cling to that.
I heard the same thing when I was a Muslim. I heard it too often. It's
yeah. I've seen it. I've seen that thousands of times.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with when they try to prove that Muhammad was prophesied, that Muhammad was, mentioned by Jesus, for example. Then they give as evidence parts of verses from the Gospels, from the New Testament, in which Jesus says something, and they try really hard to reinterpret that as pointing at Muhammad. But if you look around the verse, if you look just before that verse or a little bit after that verse, in that same chapter, in that same place, on that same page, Jesus says a lot of things that are considered highly blasphemous according to Islamic belief, such as that he is one with the Father, that no one comes to the Father except through him, and stuff like that. And they really do that stuff. I mean, they are so it is really so stupid how they selectively give evidence while completely omitting a few words behind it that completely invalidate their supposed proof. It's really ridiculous how Islam survives. Yeah. Wait, someone said something about, what was that? What was that? Did you guys try to interact? No. Okay, Mirage 00720004 said, Apostate Prophet, did you guys try to interact with Abu Layth? That would be a fun talk. I see people often mention Mufti Abu Layth to me. And I have to say, I used to sometimes follow that guy to just see what he says, because it looks like he has these entertaining live streams and all that. But I have to be very honest. I don't think that there is something about Mufti Abu Layth that just makes him a very unfortunate person. He is kind of a reformist, kind of somebody who could, steer Islam into a new direction, who tries to kind of hold on to traditionalist Islamic understandings, traditionalist Islamic schools, while also trying to bring new interpretations and some modernity, some reason and logic into Islam. The issue is that Mufti Abu Layth is unfortunately not very smart. Which is why it is very hard for him to really steer Islam into a new direction. The other thing is that he also happens to be, a bit of a coward and a little bit hypocritical, which is why he tends to, even when these traditionalist Muslims like Muhammad Hijab or the others attack him and insult him and even threaten him, he is so scared of their backlash, and he's so scared of being associated with us, with critics of Islam, that he occasionally then attacks us for no reason, for very mild things that we do, and then tries to again establish a romantic relationship with these traditionalist Muslims who literally want people dead for their beliefs and disbeliefs. So unfortunately, he's a very curious guy who has a lot of problems. The only good thing about him is his laughter. I have to say that. But yeah.
So that's AP's take. I've only watched a couple clips from Mufti Abu Layth, but so far, I think he's awesome, man. I think that guy's hilarious. Because My goodness, with him making fun of the clip with Yasser Qadi and Mohammed Hijab, and just cracking up at the disaster that they caused, because he doesn't hold to this perfect preservation right down to the letter, and he thinks it's a mistake for Muslims to promote that and so on. And so when he's just cracking up laughing over that, and then when he's pointing out which is mainstream Salafi Islam, that Allah has literal body parts, right? That he has a shin, that he has, these two right hands and so on. And that Salafis believe this refers to, which, I mean, and there's a reason for that. That's what the sources say. And they're just taking the sources literally. And he points out that if you put the picture together of what they're saying that Allah has, he goes, that sounds like a gremlin, mate. he says it's more of a gremlin. And then he says, well, they'll tell you about Allah's different body parts, and then they'll tell you, but don't picture it. And he's like, it's too late, right? You can't help it. You can't help when someone describes all these body parts, and then you try to put together an image of this monster in your head. And so, again, those are the only kinds of clips I've looked at from Mufti Abu. He's great. Let me say this: he's great at that. When he's pointing out some ridiculous implications of some things that even mainstream Islamic sects are saying, and then he's cracking up laughing the entire time. My goodness. It's
my problem with him is I even offered to him before to have a conversation, or to have a friendly exchange about Islam, or to have a discussion, to have a probably a debate about Islam and all that, because people have been suggesting that forever. And I was friendly with him. I left open the possibility of talking, and it looked like he is also open to talking to people who are critics of Islam, including ex-Muslims. You know where he lost me, though, or maybe where I lost him, I don't know. When that thing happened, that whole story happened with Ali Dawa making a video in which he said that people like me, little weaklings, deserve to be executed, and that he would be proudly watching and all that. And Mohammed Hijab came to the defense of Ali Dawa and to support him, and harassed our families and all that. And Daniel Hikikachu also said that I should be executed, that he believes in that. Mufti Abu Layth's reaction to all those things was, they shouldn't have said that. Yeah, well, they shouldn't say that. They are clearly wrong, and they will be better. They should be improving themselves, and they're slowly learning. And then I ripped up the Quran as a response to that, to explain how you ripping up the Quran is not worse than them saying people should be killed. He then came out and said, apostate prophet AP, no, absolutely not. I will never take him serious anymore. Nobody should take him serious anymore. Clearly, he's so disrespectful. I don't know what he's thinking. Everything that he has done is invalid from now on because he does not respect people's holy books. It's over for him and stuff like that. And I thought, what the hell, man? I thought you were supposed to be this reasonable guy who just laughs about people making death threats, and then it directly rules out people who just ripped up a page of a paper.
Yeah, I think based on his personality, he seems like the sort of person who would, if he didn't have to worry about certain people, he would be the sort of dude who just goes live with us and discusses whatever we want and laughs and jokes, and a guy you could actually hang out with and get along with, even as you're, discussing your disagreements and so on. But that if he were to do that, right? If he were to say, hey, let's have a discussion. Let's get along. He catches it from a bunch of people who then use that to further marginalize him. You see, this is the guy who can't get along with mainstream Islam, but he gets along with all of these guys. Oh, you can't trust this guy. And he knows that. So he's kind of a, because that's kind of how we are, right? I mean, we're an atheist and a Christian right now. We have no problem getting along with people. If you're a friendly Muslim, I have no problem having friendly discussions with you and stuff like that. But yeah, if you're someone like that who has that personality and you want to have a discussion with other people of wildly differing views and so on, you get in trouble. You get in trouble. There has to be, the only relationship you can have is one of hostility, according to a lot of people.
Yeah, sadly, it's a mindset that I will never understand. So strange to me.
Did that say David Wood is running from Ali Dawah?
Yes.
How many hundreds of times did me and Sam Shamoon invite Ali Dawah and Muhammad Hijab and Zakir Naik and anyone? We told them repeatedly, bring anyone on the planet. I'm assuming that was a joke because
it was.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
I saw that person earlier mocking Islam, so the same person now made that comment saying that you're running from Ali Dawah. I knew it was a joke, so I put it on the screen. But it's very strange. Ali Dawah is like the only is one of those Muslim apologists who have such a big mouth, who are so loud, but then when it comes to actually challenging them personally to such an exchange, he will immediately flee. Like recently, an ex-Muslim woman, Infidel Noodle, who's also here in the chat, by the way, he challenged her to a debate and said, "I will destroy you. I will this and that. I will prove you wrong." She then accepted his debate offer, and then he fled, making so many excuses, including, if we want to debate, then you have to take your mask off and show your face. So only that way we can debate and stuff like that. You know, he's such a weasel.
That sounds exactly like Muhammad Hijab, what Muhammad Hijab did, right? Hey, Peel, I want to debate. Okay, let's go and debate. Well, then you have to. I don't remember what his conditions were. You got to show up to a certain place where he's at, or something like that.
He said, let's debate. I said, okay, we can debate online. He said, okay, fine. If my followers agree that I should debate, then I will debate. So they agreed, and then I said, he said, okay, I accept the debate offer. I said, fantastic. Okay, let's arrange the time. And then he said, but if you want to debate me, then you have to come and meet me in person. I only debate in person. I said, hey, we said online debate. And he said, you're scared of me. Commit suicide. Such insanity. Man. These people, really. Okay, let's go to further super chats.
No, it's just people are commenting saying that it was creepy when Ali Dawah said that, and then I was imagining what Hijab would say, because then we were talking about Hijab, and I just imagined Hijab. Well, in order to avoid any sexual attraction between us, Infidel Noodle, you know what I'll have to do as a devout Muslim. It's some sick stuff, man. Everything. Notice. Everything sounds creepy when it's coming from, people like Ali Dawah or Hijab now. Everything just sounds, they have so much weird, creepy sexual stuff in there that as soon as someone, well, you got to take off your veil, blah, blah, blah. It's, on the one hand, you think that's just cowardice. He knows she doesn't want to do that because people are going to want to kill her. But with Ali Dawah, it's almost like, wait a minute, everything you say sounds perverted and creepy to me now, because you're the guy saying, if my daughter reaches puberty at the age of 9, I would tell her she's ready to be married. You say this stuff and you're like, gosh, I do not trust that guy. I do not trust a dude like that around a 9-year-old. You know what I mean? So,
do you practice that in private, David? That sounds very good. I imagine you in front of a mirror during the day, just practicing imitating Ali Dawah. People like that.
No, it's funny. It's sometimes for Muhammad's Boom Boom Room, I would get messages. Oh man, you had that accent perfect for that character. And I was like, I did not practice that once until the camera was on me, and I just started going.
That's amazing. Yeah. So, what's very funny? When Muhammad Hijab, since you brought it up, when he came to our live stream and spammed the live stream and told us to give each other a golden shower. And
that's what I mean. Like everything sounds creepy after that. Once you know that someone's like thinking about golden showers and all this other stuff, it's like everything you say that can possibly be interpreted that way. Now, it's like, like if you knew someone if you just ran into someone on the street and the person was talking to you, you wouldn't be wondering, what this person means by that. If you knew this guy was a total sicko pervert and starts talking, now you're not like everything is viewed with suspicion and everything, starts sounding disgusting and perverted.
Yeah.
That's how it's getting with
Yeah.
a lot of the Islamic apologists.
What's very funny. After that happened, Mohammed Hijab actually made a video in which he explained that that he meanwhile deleted that video, by the way, for some strange reason, in which he explained that when he came to our live stream and he told us to give each other a golden shower, he was actually not angry. He didn't slip or anything. He was just testing us. He was just testing our consistency, our moral consistency, and our logic. He was just suggesting that we give each other a golden shower to test if we are consistent with our moral philosophies and our worldviews. Because since I am an atheist, according to his logic, it cannot be wrong for me to give someone a golden shower or to receive a golden shower, which is why he was making these intelligently designed, well, strategically played out golden shower comments to us. What is so strange is that you are a Christian, however, so why the hell was he making those comments?
Yeah, you should have waited for a discussion between two atheists. What's funny is even if you were an atheist who says, there's no reason to be this way or that way, that the end result of that is you would just do what you want to do, right? Mm-hmm. In which case, if you're not into that sort of thing, why in the name of common sense would you do it? Even if you threw all moral values out the window and just said, I'm going to do whatever I feel like doing, it still doesn't mean you do what he's suggesting you do. And so, it's just weird, creepy stuff.
I mean, it's basic. It's so basic. We have so many different approaches to philosophy and history that are not based on religion, upon which it is you do not conclude that nothing is wrong, which is why you should just give people a golden shower or receive a golden shower. I mean, he, as a philosophy expert, as a self-proclaimed philosophy expert, should know that very basic thing. But no, he just tells us to jump off a high building, to pee on each other, and all that stuff because he's a genius. It's really amazing.
But notice, because you and I, Christian and atheist, have disagreements on the foundations of ethics and morality and so on. He responds to it by golden shower. This I prove my point. Whereas we respond by, hey, let's have a nice, friendly, careful debate that takes place over a period of weeks, so that we can be careful to explain our own views as carefully as possible and to not misinterpret one another, so that therefore people walk away understanding the different perspectives and so on. That's how, that's our inclination about how to handle things. And his inclination is, golden showers, be strong.
Life is all about pain management, and then you give each other a golden shower.
That one day we were talking about him, and someone asked if I think he's a psychopath. David, do you think he's a psychopath? I go, no, I don't think he's a psychopath. He's like the opposite, right? He's too sensitive and fragile. And I gave my theory about the big strong guy who psychologically is a beta, and everyone treats him like he's the big tough alpha, but he's actually psychologically a beta, and so he's always looking for someone to help him and protect him and so on. And how, because I've seen this before. I've seen people like this before in prison. I've seen people like that who come across as really strong until someone slaps them in the mouth, and then they just like, oh, who's going to protect me here, right? And then if you see what Hijab does, how he like lies in setting up debates, he lies, and then just constantly doing deceptive stuff to try and get some sort of advantage or something like that in a discussion or any sort of setup. That's not a confident person. Yeah. And so I pointed all that out, and then I saw some people, I don't think it ever caught on, but there were people calling him Golden Beta Boy, combining it with the golden showers, and they were calling him Golden Beta Boy. And here's the other thing that's funny, right? If people were making fun of, let's say, Shabir Ali or something like that, and I would be like, hey guys, come on. Why are you attacking Shabir Ali like that? Why you why are you talking to him like that? But when your guys, your apologists are increasingly becoming some of the just nastiest, most disrespectful people on the planet, it's like, got no problem anymore with anything you guys are calling each other over there.
Yeah, I would really love to have a debate with Shabir Ali, by the way.
Yeah.
I think that would really be. I mean, I have been looking for people are asking me. I have seen here people who say I should debate Fareed. This is the problem. These people have attacked me.
Fareed's not going to debate.
No. These people have attacked me for a very, very long time. And I said, hey, I don't want to debate anybody. Then I changed my mind at some point and said, hey, you know what? I said I wouldn't debate anybody. Forget about that. I want to debate Mohammed Hijab. Mohammed Hijab then accepted and then broke his agreement and attacked me. So that failed. I said I would debate Daniel Hikikachu. He came on my channel, played a very deceptive game and said, I already did debate you, which is very strange. And thereby, rejected my debate indirectly. I asked Fareed, he said he would debate me, and then he made the excuse that I ripped up the Quran, which is very disrespectful, which is why he will not debate me. I asked certain other Muslim apologists who have been mentioned before. He said that he would debate me, but then he began to ignore all the further requests and all further negotiations. These people do not want to debate me. I don't know why. It's not because they're scared of me. It's probably because there's some strange logic, like not some strange logic, but some very Islamic logic, like that I'm an ex-Muslim and that debating me publicly and formally would kind of acknowledge me as a legitimate party in this discussion between Islam and non-Islam, and they simply do not want to do that because they cannot just acknowledge the existence of an ex-Muslim like me. No, I should be dead. So it doesn't really work, which is why I would love to debate someone like Shabir Ali, for example. That would be nice. I would totally look forward to that. The only person who has debated me so far was Nader Ahmed, and yeah, whatever.
Everyone is running from me.
I had a debate with him on the scientific mistakes of the Quran, and I kept asking him the question about what are the lamps in the nearest heaven, because he doesn't want to acknowledge that when the Quran says Allah adorned the nearest heaven with lamps and also made them missiles thrown at rebellious devils, he doesn't want to admit that lamps refers to stars. He says it must be something else because stars are not thrown at devils. And I'm like, okay, then what are those lamps? And he doesn't want to answer the question. So the entire debate, I pushed him like 5 times, and he kept saying, I will push that aside and come to that later. And he just didn't want to answer that question. He doesn't want to explain to us what those lamps are.
I mean, which is amazing because with the possible exception of the sun setting in a muddy pool, you have to know that's coming up if you're talking about science in the Quran. So, and Nadir's been debating since, my goodness, 2000. He was back when it was like Pal Talk. He was doing Pal Talk debates. So you're talking like early 2000s at least. So early 2000s, he's been debating. He's always been obsessed with the science in the Quran. And so after all of these years and all of these debates, he still is not prepared for the most basic objection that's going to come up.
Yep. And then on top of that, he has the audacity to really go around and say, like, I have destroyed David Wood, I have destroyed Sam Shamoun, I have destroyed Apostate Prophet, I have destroyed this person and that person. They are all running from me. Nobody has been able to defeat me in debates because I am upon the truth. Seriously, man. What the?
It's funny. The debates on my channel, but we did these 2 debates. I think is the Quran a book of peace and is the Bible a book of peace or something like that. We did one on Islam and one on Christianity. And I remember being at that, doing that debate, and I was walking out, and we had the debates in a church, and the pastor, I didn't know the pastor. We were walking out, and he goes, "Yeah, David, I wanted to give you a little feedback. I just wanted to point out that sometimes you could be crushing your opponent so bad that it's almost like you're clubbing a baby seal in front of the audience, and then we start feeling sympathy for the guy that you're clubbing. So just think about that when you're debating someone like Nadir. He said he felt like I was clubbing a baby seal up there.
That's brutal. That
Yeah.
is brutal. That's very sad. Yeah. Somebody brought up the issue. Sarah Michael Ashraf said, Ridwan, do you think the Prophet had temporal lobe epilepsy? I'm currently, I put this aside because I'm currently working on the bigger project, but I'm actually working on a project where I also got into contact with some specialists on psychology and psychiatry. I asked them to help me to put together some of the reports, the narrations about Muhammad and his symptoms. I want them to advise me on whether Muhammad suffered from a mental illness. So I am actually working on that stuff. I just don't want to. I'm not an expert myself. I'm a student of psychology. I've studied quite a bit of it.
He definitely suffered from mental illness. It's just a question of is that the correct one?
Yeah, that's the thing, because there is a hadith. I mean, I want to bring that up whenever it comes up, but there is a hadith which is really it's very interesting, where he describes that he receives the revelations from Allah in form of the ringing of a bell, for example, and
which I always thought was funny, because there's another hadith that says the bell is the musical instrument of Satan. So I was like, wait a minute.
Look at this. Let me share this on the screen. This is just so amazing. It really makes me wonder. It really makes me want to ask, why is this how Allah reveals his holy, perfect message to his chosen perfect prophet? Why is this the way he reveals it? Look at this. I hope everyone can see this. This is from Sahih Bukhari. This is indeed one of the first hadith that you find in this book. Narrated by Aisha. Al-Harith bin Isham asked Allah's messenger, "O Allah's messenger, how is the divine inspiration revealed to you?" Allah's messenger replied, "Sometimes it is revealed like the ringing of a bell. This form of inspiration is the hardest of all. And then this state passes off after I have grasped what is inspired. Sometimes the angel comes in the form of a man and talks to me, and I grasp whatever he says." Aisha added, "Verily, I saw the Prophet being inspired divinely on a very cold day and noticed the sweat dropping from his forehead as the inspiration was over." Now, I don't know what you want to think about it, but I mean, looking into mental illnesses, this just sounds like Muhammad was really struggling with something.
Yes, especially if you go to the very next one, and that's where the very next hadith, it should be that's a long one, but that's where the angel shows up and starts, "Read. I don't know how to read, and I'll just crush you until you do."
Yeah. The angel caught me forcefully and pressed me so hard that I could not bear it anymore. Mm-hmm. He then released me again and asked me to read, and I replied, "I do not know how to read." And then he caught me again, and so on. So, I mean, this really makes me wonder. I mean, okay, I understand the desire to believe that Muhammad is the prophet of Allah, that Allah is the almighty creator of everything, and that he has chosen Muhammad to be this perfect messenger and to deliver his perfect words, his perfect message to all humanity. But why is this the way he delivers the message? Why is it in form of an extremely exhausting and painful episode of a ringing bell, for example, that is very hard on Muhammad, as he himself describes it? And then Muhammad grasps what was being said and delivers it to the people. Why is it revealed in a form of trance that resembles many mental illnesses? Why in form of a man approaching and telling him what to do, and that is hard on him? Why make him sweat on a cold day? I mean,
why does it sound like something that came from an Exorcist film and not like any other revelations?
Yeah. I mean, why is it not just delivered? Why is he not just inspired, but it just looks like it's he's really suffering from something?
Yeah, you've got this in Islam. If Allah wants to create something, he simply needs to say be, and it is. And so he should just be able to say, hey, here's a revelation. You're right. It's like there are all kinds of ways that God could reveal something. He could just make you know it. He could send an angel. He could send a prophet. All kinds of different things. But with Muhammad, it just sounds like the exact way a demon would give him the revelation. It's like, well, of all the different ways. Now,
I mean, seriously, good point. I mean, Allah can just, as the Quran says, Allah just says be, and then it is. I mean, Allah could just, in a moment. This is just a representation of a moment. It means nothing to Allah. Allah doesn't do this with his fingers. I don't even know if Allah has fingers, but
he doesn't even need a Thanos snap, man.
Yeah. I mean, this is just a representation. Just here. Okay, now Muhammad knows the entire Quran. But no, it doesn't happen this way, although it could happen this way. What happens instead is that Muhammad downloads the Quran as needed, and this downloading is very painful to Muhammad. He goes, oh no, it's happening again. Oh, bing, 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 it's happening again. And then he passes out, and he's sweating, and then he wakes up and says, Allah says, you should... If you fear arrogance of your wives, you should advise them, and then separate them in bed, and then beat them. This is what Allah has decreed. Now, please leave me alone. I must rest.
No, I mean, guys, imagine this, right? You're a man. You're concerned that your wife might have an affair with this young hot stud who's hanging around at your house. So you come to your beloved prophet. You need the wisdom. How's Allah going to solve this problem? I want to know how to make sure that my wife isn't having an affair with this young man. Then Muhammad falls over, starts saying that something's choking him, he's flopping around, his head turns red, and he starts sweating all over the place. Looks like something is just crushing him. And then he stands up and say, aha, the creator of the universe, the creator of human nature has revealed to me that she just needs to put her breasts in that dude's mouth repeatedly over and over again, like a beating drum 10 times. And then he won't be attracted to her anymore.
Fantastic.
I mean,
wow.
And then somehow people are like, wow, what a great idea. Very few people, though, apparently, because almost everyone thought this was ridiculous. So much so that Aisha got rid of it from the Quran.
Yeah, I mean, it is such a controversial issue, even among the Muslim scholars, when the sources are just so clear. It's just, I don't know. It's absurd. 501 Mobius said, "Why is Gabriel so stupid to not know someone can't read?" Yeah. Okay. I want to.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's a similar situation to where, like the natural inclination of the Muslim apologist will be to defend this and, what Gabriel's really trying to accomplish here. But I mean, if you just look at what the story says, Gabriel, read, and Muhammad's going, I don't know how to read. He's like, shut up. I told you to read. I'm going to crush you and squeeze you. And Muhammad, please help me. I don't know how to read. I told you. Which part of I can't read? Didn't you understand? Fine, I'll crush you until you can. Right? That's not how you teach someone to read. You don't crush someone and then they suddenly develop the. Of course, Gabriel could have miraculously given him the ability to read or something like that, but no point in crushing him. You don't need to crush him in order to do that.
No, yeah, you don't. But you know how they treat Muhammad. Poor guy, seriously. Once he was laying in his bed at night, and then the angels, Gabriel and all those people came by to visit him, and then opened his chest. Maybe they cut his chest open. I don't know. They took his heart out and started washing his heart, and then put it back again to clean him, to make him pure. And then a horse came. And then Muhammad climbed on the back of this horse after his heart was washed. I don't know why they had the need to do that. They could have just done it without opening his chest and taking out his heart. Poor guy, seriously. And then Muhammad was taken on this weird, strange, wild horse to Jerusalem. And what did Muhammad do in Jerusalem when he arrived with this magical horse? What did he do? He went to a wall in Jerusalem and tied this horse to a wall so that it doesn't run away. I don't know why he does that. This is clearly a horse that comes on a special mission from Allah and his angels. And why does Muhammad tie this horse to a wall? It doesn't really make sense to me. But apparently, this is how stuff works in Islam.
You know what? It's you know what I'd really like to see before I die?
What?
Just a movie about Muhammad where they actually show this stuff
I know,
as part of the movie, right?
It should
like Gabriel just right that, and then ripping Muhammad open and stuff like that. Show Muhammad, okay, ripping open. I'm gonna rip your heart out and clean your heart, and just show all that stuff. Even if we have to do claymation, you know what I mean?
The problem with all of that is it is one thing to depict Muhammad. It is one thing to tell Muhammad's story in live action or in cartoon form. The issue is, how are you going to go into the problem of Aisha, of his child bride? How can we do that without making it very disgusting and bad? It's just that's why you cannot tell Muhammad's story.
So we'll have to one, so that we don't offend jihadis, we'll just have Muhammad's face glowing the entire time, so we can't see his face, and we'll show his heart being ripped out and him being choked and him flopping around on the ground when he's receiving revelations and stuff. And then other than that, we'll just have to use big censored tags everywhere over all the perverted stuff he's doing.
Yeah. And whenever Aisha comes into the scene, she's just this big black censored figure that's just walking around censored. That's it.
We'll put her in a bear costume like South Park did with Muhammad.
That's nice. All right. Let me read some super chats here. Lego System said this should be good. Thank you. Tippy Bear made popcorn super chats, super stickers. Baruti Buhendwa made a super chat without saying anything, but I appreciate it and thank you so much. Excuse me. David Torres made a super sticker that says something that I cannot see. I don't know what it is. Something with you. Hey, you. Yeah, okay. Thanks, David. Mendicant Bias made a super chat and said, have you both been possessed by a Muslim jinn? Oh, this was at the beginning of our stream when we started in a very unconventional way. Piga Kagi made a super chat and said, put a sweet, cute embroidered piglet on these heads. 31 Media made a super chat without attaching any message. Thank you so much. Amateur Ant made a super chat and said, Dr. Wood has been more absent than a Muslim self-deleting for 72 virgins you can't find on earth rather than raising his own kids. Yeah. Hindu History made a super chat and said, are there any famous Quran verses or hadith? Are there any famous Quran verses or hadith? What does that mean? Does that mean, do you mean in general famous, like stuff that is universally known, or is it in reference to something specific that we were talking about?
There's no compulsion in religion.
Oh yeah, that's a beautiful Quran verse. There is no compulsion in religion. Yeah, so that one is very, very, very beautiful. Animal made a super chat and said, we've all missed you guys. Thank you so much. I really missed going live and making videos. So this was a good event, a good occasion. We should do this more often. David, do you remember how often we agreed that we should go live every week? We made such an agreement so many times that we should go live every week, and
we should go live. We should try going live every week. Yeah. We should do it. We should do it on your channel since your channel's still monetized.
Oh yeah. We could. Yeah. So this is another time that we have agreed to possibly go live every week. Yeah. Nemo. Oh wait. Nemo made a super chat and said, "Kissy kissy moi." Okay. Thank you. Nadaverse made a super chat and said, AP, in addition to the Quran underwear, could you look into adding metal bras, suckless begone to your product line? Too many Muhammad hijabs out there to not have the necessary production. Thanks. I will think about that, Nadaverse, but thank you for the wonderful suggestion. Relieved
Relieved Gandalf made a super chat and said, "Saw this was live and decided to stay up. God bless." Thank you so much, Relieved Gandalf. I appreciate it. Jesse DeWitt made a super chat and said, "What's the best way to disprove Islam to my girlfriend? The reinterpreting is mind-boggling." Well, let me say something quickly about this. It's really hard to convince people that what they believe in is wrong, especially when that is Islam. Islam is not just a religion. Islam is not like any other belief system, like any other religion. Islam is extremely brutal in the way that it has indoctrinated the Muslim population, and in the way that it indoctrinates the average Muslim child, the Muslim teenager, the Muslim adult. It's just it has so many defenses that are built on inducing fear and hate and even reinterpretation, that it is really hard to make Muslims doubt their own scripture, even by showing them the most ridiculous things that the Quran says, or the most absurd hadith, the most absurd reports and quotes by Muhammad. It is really hard to change the minds of Muslim people. Add to that also the fact that the Islamic religion is not just like a religion. It is not like it is not something that is just between the believer and God. Islam is also directly an identity. It is a collective identity. Muslims grew up with the idea that that they are one nation and the disbelievers are one nation. You learn this notion that you must stay loyal to your Muslimhood. Muslimhood comes before everything, and you must be proud of that and loyal to that. If you doubt Islam, that is not only an insult to your religion and to your faith, it is an insult to everybody and everything. If you leave Islam, you have not just betrayed Allah and yourself, you have betrayed your family, your siblings, your parents, your relatives, your society, your community, your nation. You have betrayed everybody. And it's not just like it's not about just you losing your faith. It's about betrayal. That is what Islam is. Muslims do not want to doubt Islam, and even if they doubt it, even if they disbelieve in it, they don't want to publicly accept that they have left Islam, because leaving Islam means committing social suicide, to say it in a crude way. You have Muslims encourage each other to shun you from there on. It is basically cult behavior. So it is really hard to, with all these defenses that exist, to convince people that Islam is wrong. But I'm actually working on a project that I don't want to go further into right now. But what do you say, David?
He basically said, "Hey, how do I convince someone that Islam isn't true when they're just going to, they just reinterpret stuff?" And your response was, "It'll never happen. You're just screwed. There's too much at stake. Give it up."
Yeah. Okay, I was a little bit dramatic here. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, I mean, and a couple of things here. What AP is just pointed out, about the implications and of that it's not just some intellectual assent. Oh, first I believed he's a prophet, and now I'm not going to believe he's a prophet. There's a lot more at stake. So as he pointed out, this dramatically changes all of your relationships with family members and friends and so on. You've been told your entire life that rejecting Islam will get you sent to hell. You understand that, even though it doesn't happen a lot in the West, the penalty is death for leaving Islam. You have 4 schools of Islamic jurisprudence. 3 of the 4 schools believe that also applies to a woman. So all of these things are going on in the background of a person that you're trying to convince Muhammad's not a true prophet. And so the point here is don't ignore the fact that all these things are going on. And one of the things you can do is actually bring these to the surface. Say, hey, if you were wrong, do you want to know it? Hey, when you're trying to decide something true, is it in the back of your mind, like how this would affect your family and how your family is going to react? And are you concerned about this? Do you think you really go to hell for rejecting the most obvious false prophet in history and so on. And so you can bring those things out. And then, you know, if it's a Muslim, you're talking to a person who believes in God, believes that God has sent revelations in the world. You can point out, don't you believe that God gave you a reasoning ability to use it to actually think through this stuff? Don't you believe that God is, you know, giving you the ability to spot false prophets? How would you identify a false prophet? How would you spot someone who's a false prophet? Because as soon as you start listing ways to know that someone is a false prophet, Muhammad is like the supreme example of all of them. Muhammad did everything, every possible way you could identify a false prophet. Muhammad fails that test, and he comes across as a false prophet. So basically, being aware of some of the things that are going on in the background, bring those to the surface. And as far as information, I have a video called "How to Share Unpleasant Facts with Pleasant Muslims." So, you know, you're not trying in a situation where you're not trying to destroy someone or run them off or be a jerk, and you want to get as much information across as possible. Because I've seen this over and over and over again. You could bring up 10 different problems with a Muslim and they don't bother the Muslim, but one thing will bother that Muslim. And even then the Muslim won't admit it, but it's bothering that person inside. Like Nabil and I were talking about stuff for a while. We talked about Muhammad and Aisha. We talked about the violence. We talked about the killing of apostates. We talked about all these things. The one that actually bothered him was that you could rape your female captives. But he didn't tell me that until after he became a Christian. He didn't tell me that when we were talking about it. He acted like it didn't bother him at all. Wow. And that was just, you know, it's a different time and so on. So he acted like it didn't bother him at all. And yet he admitted later it was bothering him a lot. And so understand that just because someone doesn't seem like she's bothered and is reinterpreting everything. Oh, what that really means is this. What that really means is something else. She may be thinking about that. It's going to come down to a person by person basis. And so I would just learn some point, learn it well, bring it up with her, talk to her about it. And if she wants to reinterpret, let her reinterpret it. Thank her. So, okay, thanks for giving me your perspective on that issue, and bring up another one. And you're looking to reach a sort of critical mass where she's like, gosh, now I've totally reinterpreted 75 different things. And you can point out the problem of the miracle of reinterpretation, right? It's that there's a reason ISIS jihadis will just slaughter all of these Muslims that they view as compromisers and heretics and so on. When a Muslim is saying, oh, what Allah says is fight those who do not believe, but what he really means is only fight people who are attacking you. You can point out, you know, verses of the Quran where Allah constantly brags about being the clearest of the clearest communicator ever. And wait a minute, the clearest communicator ever is saying such clear things, and you have to keep reinterpreting them. So you are a better communicator than the creator of the universe, and you're constantly telling me what he really means. What Allah said was, you know, your wife gets out of line, you smack and beat her into submission. What he really meant was tickle her with a toothbrush or something like that. You know, you could point out these things, and again, you just want to keep building that up. You just want to keep building it up. Not being you don't have to be a jerk. You don't have to be a mean. You don't have to try and finish it in one round and so on. But seeing it over and over and over again, that there's a light switch moment after a while, and it's just like, wow, how can I defend this stuff here?
That was indeed very nice, and I really have to say that David's advice here, David's take on the matter, has been much more helpful than mine.
Give it up. She's never gonna leave Islam. It's too wonderful and enticing.
I'm sorry for being so pessimistic and basically saying, hey, everything sucks. There is no meaning to it. Just give up. I'm sorry. So yeah, David's advice was definitely much better in that way, and I think we should all listen to David, not to me. Don't listen to me. Forget about me. Somebody asked what happened to my. So I shared before that the Turkish that Turkey's Turkey issued an arrest warrant against me because I'm still a Turkish citizen. Lived in Turkey years ago, and they issued an arrest warrant because I criticized Islam for publicly insulting people's religious beliefs. And I'm just checking right now. The process is still ongoing. They want me arrested. They are now treating me as guilty and want me to appear in Turkey and give a statement, and then probably give me some monetary. Yeah.
We should make a skit where some Turkish police come and get you. We have like cops, have it like cops, and we're like, beating you up and stuff, and then we put you on trial. Oh, we should have a whole trial where they try you for blasphemy. We could rent a courtroom for filming, and then so you go to trial and you have to actually defend your claims about Muhammad and the Quran against the brilliant prosecutor, Dr. Zakir Naik.
We should think about that.
He's the one who said that, right? He's the one who said that governments need to start keeping databases on things people say, so that whenever they travel to a country, they can be arrested and stuff.
No, he made that suggestion. Yeah.
Hey, Vidu Vids could play Zakir Naik in the trial of the century.
He could. I think he's not recently making any videos anymore because he wants to kind of put his online stuff aside to not let it get in the way of his private life. It's so ridiculous. I'm currently checking the process, the online procedure of the arrest warrant and everything that Turkey has issued against me, and it really says here that if the circumstances are appropriate, then a short-term prison sentence should be considered for me. I mean, it just I'm sorry, man. It makes me so mad. I'm going to say something.
Just so you know, I already agreed to be your lawyer.
They're seriously suggesting that a short prison sentence should be considered for me. A prison sentence should be considered. A lack of freedom should be considered for me. Because why? Not because I stole someone's property, not because I robbed a store, not because I killed somebody. No, it's because I said in a video that I made in Turkish, I said that the Quran is not a very beautiful book, that it is actually a book full of ignorance, that the Prophet Muhammad is not a wonderful person to be to take as an example, that he is actually somebody who is engaged in a lot of moral inconsistencies, that he was bad. I said these things in such a careful way, even, and for that they want to consider a prison sentence for me, a short prison sentence. Are you kidding me, man? Idiotic imbeciles.
You should get the chair.
No, seriously, at this point, I just want to say Turkey is such a stupid country, such a ridiculous country, a government led by donkeys.
You should make a video about how, in Turkish, about how the government of Turkey is a bunch of watered down heretical apostates because they don't want to enforce the true penalty, which is execution, and how they're actually watered down Muslims now, not true Muslims, and no one should respect their leadership.
Yeah, that's a good take. In Turkey is supposed to be a liberal country that tries to imitate Western liberalism and also elements of free speech, for example. But in Turkey, it is illegal. It is forbidden to criticize the president. It is forbidden to insult the president, and who knows what insult means. And anything can be reinterpreted as insult. There are hundreds, thousands of people in Turkey right now who are in jail, or who are being who are searched, wanted, or who have received a sentence or awaiting their sentence because they insulted the president, or because they insulted people's religious beliefs. And just for all those who cannot do it, I just want to say that Erdogan, the president of Turkey, is a giant moron and an idiot.
Yeah, he's a total douche.
Yeah, he's a douche. He's
Come arrest me, Erdogan.
yeah, he loves goats. And
Hey, wait,
yeah,
you know Turkish. How do you pronounce his full name? Yeah.
Recep Tayyip Erdogan.
Recep.
Yeah, Recep Tayyip Erdogan. That's how you say it.
Why do they spell it with like a C?
That's C is J in Turkish.
That's what I mean. Like, why don't there's a process that's called transliteration, right? Where you're putting a name into another language and then you pick the letter that makes the same sound. It's like, okay, well, the sound is J. Let's pick a C for transliteration. It doesn't make any sense, right? So anyway.
Yeah. There's a lot of discrepancy. There are also some extra letters in Turkey. There's, for example, a G with a thing on it, with a bow on it, which is basically that's it. It's called a soft G, and it's that's also in Erdogan's name. You know, Erdogan. It's Erdogan. That's a it's weird. So anyway, that was the update about my Turkey situation. What a beautiful country. Relieved Gandalf. I already read that. Ben the Gamer made a super chat and said, "Ha ha ha ha." I don't know what that is, but
it's probably something funny you said at some point.
Yeah, it's probably something funny that I said. Yeah. LD made a super chat and said, "Glad David is losing weight on purpose. I was scared the crap book he ate gave him poisoning." Yeah.
That would be funny. That would be used as the primary evidence of Islam for the next 50 years.
Yeah, the truth of it. You know what happened? There was this one time, the last time that we actually went live together, and we were planning on going live the next day on my channel, and then I got very sick. And we canceled that, and we didn't do live streams together for months. So I actually got extremely sick. Then it started with fever and cough and this and that, and then it turned out that I have a skin infection which was affecting my whole body, and I was terrible. I went to the hospital, to the ER. I took very heavy medication for a week or so, and I shared publicly that I am very sick. And on the first day, I shared that the doctors do not know what it is, what the cause of my sickness is. You know what happened as a result? Not one, not two, dozens, maybe hundreds of Muslims made posts on Twitter and
Alhamdulillah,
different platforms where they basically said, "Alhamdulillah, I hope you die." But aside from that, they also said this happened because I went on a live stream before, and a Muslim challenged me to say, if I really do not believe in Allah, then I should go public and say, "Allah, if you exist, then punish me." And I did that. I went live and said, "Allah, punish me, send me a lightning, hit me right now, kill me, whatever." I did that stuff. And they then said that I got sick mysteriously because I made such a prayer on my live stream, and Allah punished me. And now I shall hopefully die. And this is the proof that Islam is true. They actually did that. Dozens of them. They actually did that.
You're a goner, dude. Well, what's his face? Ali Dawa prayed for Allah to give us diseases and stuff.
Yes, he did. And
we're goners.
We're goners, and he's proud of that. Yeah. Dude, there are too many super chats. I don't know if I can go through all of these.
You got to go rapid fire, man. Rapid fire.
Okay. Ryan Joseph said, "What, David? Where have you been? I miss you." We went into that, but thank you for the question.
Yeah, you can go back earlier in this video if you missed it.
Yeah. Steve Laval said, "It's been too long." Yeah, I know. Sorry, thanks. Animal said, "Three Stooges, Fifi, Mimi, and Ali." Jörg Asmussen made a super chat and said, "Didn't someone endorse golden camel showers?" Of course, they did. I believe there are still people who do that stuff. Amateur End made a super chat and said, "Any Muslim in the chat, I will gladly play with you." I will not read that, but thank you. Alfonso Lapolse made a super chat and said, "Thoughts on the contrast, by the way, the telltale teacher thing and the teacher in UK who showed pictures of TP Muhammad." I don't know if you've heard about that, but there was apparently a thing going on.
Some people sent me some stories about the teacher who showed cartoons or something.
Yeah. A teacher showed a cartoon of Muhammad to his class or so, and then people complained. And he has been forced to apologize, to issue an apology.
And got fired.
and got fired or something like that. I don't know. I couldn't really look into that. I'm really too busy to comment on things that are happening right now at the moment, unfortunately. But that happened. I would love to get to that and comment on it, even if it's too late a little bit. Steve Laval said you need green screens from Mecca in the background. Oh, that's apparently a reference to us saying we went to the Hajj together.
I actually thought about that, because we've got video footage of inside the Kaaba. Like every episode could show the camera panning into the Kaaba, and then we're green screened inside the Kaaba to have our discussions.
You have a video, right? You have a video which is
called Inside the Kaaba. Yeah.
In front of a green screen. I know, that's a very old video.
You know, it's funny. When I was making that, I said to Nabil, I said, hey, check this out. Did you know there's actually video footage inside the Kaaba? And he goes, really? I've never seen inside it. And so I showed him. I had, here, watch this. And the video starts and it's showing around the Kaaba. And then Nabil goes, you're going to be inside here, aren't you? So cool that he knew me. He knew me well enough to green. Awesome. What was crazy is when I was actually putting that together, because then I'm like finishing the editing and stuff like that. I'm sitting there. In fact, the click sound, where the camera supposedly goes up on the tripod, which is where I just kind of freeze it and stuff like that. But I make a click sound to make it sound like the camera went onto a tripod. I just did that. Nabil and I were in a hotel room, and I made the sound by clicking the phone that's in the hotel room. And I made that, and I'm making this, and I go, I bet someone's going to think I'm actually in here. So I thought it was like so obviously green screen that no one's going to fall for it, but that someone might. And like between a third and a half of people who watched it thought I was actually in the Kaaba. So it was like far more persuasive than I thought. Like amazing. I'm not even at the same frame rate as like the building and stuff like that.
It's really strange what kind of things people will believe in. What kind of things people will believe. I recently created a TikTok account. I thought I should just try going on TikTok and make some short videos. So I made an account called Real Apostate Prophet and just made short videos in which I basically say something critical about Islam. Things got deleted immediately. I got banned from posting for a week or 2 weeks, and I thought, if this doesn't work, then maybe I should do something different. So I created another account and called it Fake Apostate Prophet, and now I'm posting videos there in which I do fake dawah, in which I present absolute proof that Islam is true and stuff like that. And when I posted my first videos, and it was so obvious, like my first video was that Islam has so many contributions to our lives, and the main contribution that Islam has to my life is that it helps me wipe myself on the toilet, for example, because it describes exactly how to do it. My second video was about how the proof that the sky is just there is proof that Islam is true, because the Quran says Allah is holding up the sky. And there were actually so many comments from Muslims who thought I was being serious, and who were asking me, who were saying like, "MashaAllah, brother, are you a revert?" And I thought it's so obvious, I'm making fun of it, but
you're gonna win some converts over there, man.
I know. I'm gonna convert people to Islam. It's funny. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm going through these quickly. Never Scrat, I made a super chat and said, nugget of info for you. Abu Laith used to teach Arabic at my secondary school in the UK. He was fired for sexual misconduct. Oh yeah, I have seen some, somebody showed me some news report once. There was some news report about Mufti Abu Laith, but I don't want to go into that now. I don't know the details, but yeah, thanks for the info. Nicholas Wheeler said, will help me lose weight. What will help me lose weight? Question mark. Will help me lose weight.
Oh, that might have been like from way earlier when I said I'm down 40 pounds now.
Yeah. I just don't understand the sentence because it says will help me lose weight? Question mark. Okay.
But thanks. Nadaverse said Jibril. He's not a player. He just crushes a lot. LOL. Food and Religion said, we appreciate your work, boys. Thanks and keep it going. Thank you so much. I appreciate it too. Thank you. Jennifer Yamamoto said, good to see you guys. Good to see you. Good to be here. Michael Tinnen said, money in a super chat. Thank you, Michael. Singh Harjinder said, why couldn't most fake ID Allah just put his message on the sky for everyone to see and remove all doubt? That's what I always ask. Living with Jay said, but instead he gives him ringing bells and stuff like that, you know. Living with Jay said, David, debate Sam Shamoon on the topic, who is the worst Islamic debater of this era? Why, do you have a difference of opinion? Does Sam Shamoon think someone else is worse than... Who do you think is the worst Muslim debater, by the way?
Osama Abdullah.
Who?
Osama Abdullah
I don't even know who that is.
from Answering Christianity.
Oh, I have no idea. who that is.
Now, I mean, you could find individuals who would be worse, but as far as someone who's actually been debating and has done debates and has spent years working on the stuff, yeah, I've done several debates with Osama. He's not great.
Oh yeah, okay. That's the person who is behind this thing, that website Answering Christianity.
Yeah,
That website is so terrible.
yeah, he's even worse. It was funny because when you talk, he's a nice guy in person. He's a nice, friendly guy in person, but really nasty online and not a good debater.
I saw some defenses of Islam on that website before, and I thought, what the hell? I mean, there are seriously people who think this way. That was one of those websites who seriously, unironically, used the NASA footage to prove that the moon was indeed split in two in Muhammad's time. And I thought, seriously, man, this is the strong Muslim apologetics online. Man. Rebecca Parmley made a super sticker and said, keep it up. Thank you. Ligar Sister made a super chat and said, get CP to be the defense lawyer. Umut made a super chat and said, Merhaba. Hi, Ridvan and David, from an ex-Muslim new Christian from Turkey. We Turks will destroy Islam. Intellectually, I hope you do. Honest Hearts made a super chat and said, what do you think about Turkey turning the Hagia Sophia back into a mosque? I made a video about that way back.
I did too.
Too. Yeah.
Yep.
So we talked about that. It was a pretty terrible move, was largely politically motivated. But yeah, I have made a video about that. David Wood has made a video about that. We both have videos about that. I would suggest just watching that. It will summarize our thoughts. It will reflect our thoughts in the best way possible. I cannot even summarize that stuff. I think I'm through the super chats. What? There are so many more. What the hell? Okay, I'll quickly go through. There are 5 or 6 more. Te Hoboglomo said, aha, ha, 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 and paid $2 for that super chat. Thank you. Yegarel Hogaret said, wait for it, in a super sticker. Hindu Historian said, happy holy. Thank you. Juan Neves made a super sticker with a flying thing on a rocket. And Eric Edwards said, thoughts on the Islamic UK preacher Anjem Choudhury, whatever. Yeah. Is that guy still around?
I haven't heard from him in years. I know he got locked up for a while, and then I think he was released. But yeah, unless there's something trending about him again.
No, I
debated him back in the day. I think I debated him a couple times.
Oh, I think I remember seeing footage of you debating that guy. Right? It's how was that? I mean, that guy is insane, isn't he? He was like hardcore, right?
No, yeah, I mean he's extreme, but in a way that I would be if I actually believed in Islam, right?
Uh-huh.
So he'll say, hey, you know, I'm under a contract of peace with the country that I live in, but yes, of course, I'm working to establish Sharia, and everyone's going to be crushed, and so he's like a more mature, more well-spoken Ali Dawa, right? Okay. With I think he's like has like a background in law or something like that. But yeah, it's cool because I think you and I are similar in that. Yes, it sucks when someone comes out and says, "Yeah, we're gonna kill you when Islam takes over," but you'd still rather they admit it than try to cover it up. And so it's kind of refreshing when they tell you the truth about what they want to do.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you have people like Mohammed Hijab, for example, who have very disturbing, very disgusting views about the future of their country and the future of the world, but who then beat around the bush and tell you different stories. I would rather want him to be honest about his thoughts. Although I feel like if he lies and if he whitewashes Islam and sugarcoats Islam in front of the public, maybe that helps. That helps publicly whitewash and sugarcoat Islam and maybe change Islam a little bit into something better, into something less horrible. Maybe in that regard, it is good that some people are not very honest about Islam. But on the other hand, we know clearly what these people think and what they believe in. So it would be nice if they openly admitted that, so we could actually argue like honest people with each other. So what's very funny is Mohammed Hijab, for example, in the conversation that I had with him, he explained to me, I was leading him there. I asked him whether apostasy laws should be applied in a Muslim land, and he said that they should only apply it in a land where Islam is the law, and in which the state has established a contract with its people and demands the people to be loyal to the state. And I said, but you believe that should happen if that country is an Islamic country, don't you? If there is a Muslim population. He said, yes. If the majority is Muslim, then yes, that should happen. An Islamic state should be established. And I said, well, and you are spreading Islam to people. You want people to become Muslims. Doesn't that mean, if we are being logical, that you would also want the UK to become an Islamic country and to apply these laws? He then said, no, I don't want the UK to be an Islamic country. And I was like, what you just said, that you want to spread Islam, you want to invite people to Islam, and if people are Muslims, then there should be an Islamic state which should demand loyalty. And he kept insisting, no, I don't want the UK to be an Islamic country. No, I don't want to spread Islam in the UK. I mean, it is so obvious what he believes in, but he's scared to publicly admit his beliefs and his thoughts because he doesn't want to end up like this Anjem Choudhury, who goes to prison for having connections with terrorists, So yeah, that's the situation. Okay, are we ready to go? I think we're almost done with the stream. Here's one more live Super Chat. AP, bitte sieh dir mal den deutschsprachigen Aufklärungskanal über den Islam, den Ach so Kanal an, und dann wirst du, wenn du willst, kannst du mir gerne mal Werbung machen. A German Super Chat said,
Yeah.
said, can you please look at the channel Ach so Kanal, and then maybe I could look into that and advertise for that channel. I will have a look. I will see. Thank you for that. And I believe we should be through the super chats. And finally, Singh Harjanda said, AP, will internet do to Islam what printing press did to Christianity? Sorry, David, do not be offended. You do great work.
No idea why I'd be offended. I mean, the first thing printed on the printing press was a Bible.
Yeah. Well, I would say no, it will be much worse. It is already much worse. What Islam does to Islam is much worse than anything has ever done to any religious belief or ideology out there. And it will only get worse. And that's fantastic. That is great. Okay. David, anything else that you want to add to our stream?
Nope. That's it. But we should get back to work here very soon. And hang on, let's get rid of this dumb thing here.
Seriously, yeah. Wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we should get back to work soon. Should get back to making videos and streams again. I'm getting back. I'm almost done with my stuff. Then we will have our debate. And yeah, we will be active again. Things will be pretty big, huge, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thanks everybody for joining. Thanks everybody for watching. I really missed having these live streams. I will hope we can do that more. I will hopefully get back again, being active. Thanks everyone for joining. Thanks everyone for the comments and questions and super chats and everything, and for being here. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Just kidding. Have a fantastic day, and
TikTok time to rock.
no.
Or stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam. Yeah. Okay. Stay away from Islam.